Welcome to ExplorinVictorian. Today, my overalls need mending, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. There's three places here on my overalls that I need to look at. Here at the corner of the pocket, I've got this hole. I've got this sort of raw spot coming up. Then over here at the fly, down at the base of the fly, I've got this hole. The first one that I'm going to start at is this one up here at the corner of the pocket. What I'm going to do is just going to come down probably about a quarter inch or so from where the edge of that hole is. I'm going to come over about 1/8 of an inch. And I'm just trying to visualize about 1/8 of an inch over from the edge of this hole, but down here in this area where I'm into the good fabric. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to pull that tail through. And I'm just going to do a bar tack. This way that little tail is on the inside, and I've got it pinched. That tail I've got pinched against the back of the fabric with my finger. I'm just going to do a bar tack. And I just want the ends to be about 1/8 of an inch to either side of where that raw fabric is. I'm just going to do a couple passes to sort of lock this in place. Pull it kind of tight. You don't want it to pinch up on you, but you do want to pull it kind of tight. And I've still got that tail pinched. I just want to lay it over here. I'm going to come back through again, but instead of coming up over here on this side, I'm going to come up in the middle, just right below where my thread is. And so now I can kind of make this upside down T shape. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do another little tack around. Just come up where that thread is coming through. Just like that. And that little tail is now caught in that perpendicular tack that we just made. And then from here, I'm going to come up about a needle width. So one needle width just on the other side of that needle width. In the center, I'm going to come through. And now I'm going to come over here again, about 1/8 of an inch over, just in line here, about a needle width. And I'm going to come to the center. I'm going to loop that, loop over, and pull it snug. And this is going to create a herringbone stitch. You can see it's sort of forming an eye shape. And we'll zoom in on this. So again, I'm just going to come down through the center. Up and out to the left. Then I'm going to come over to the right, go down on the right side and up and out through the center, and just lay that loop over. And I'm just going to keep doing that down the width of this tear, or the length of this tear rather. So down the center, come up on the left side, about an 1/8 inch over from the raw fabric, and about a needle width up from the last stitch. Bring it over, a needle width up from the last stitch, an 1/8 inch over from the raw fabric. Push it down, come up through the center, keep my needle behind that loop. And as I do this, that's going to just make like a little interlock. Thread. Didn't move far enough over. I had to take my needle out and do again. So down through the center and up on the left side, come across, down on the right side, and up through the center. Get my needle behind my loop. And just pull it snug. Then I'm going to do one more pass. And that's going to get me here to the corner of my pocket welt. So I'm just going to push down through my pocket welt, just through that corner. This is where a sewing palm or a thimble or something comes in handy. I'm just going to pull that to the back side and now push that up just to the left. I'm just going to do a bar tack right here around that corner of that pocket welt. So I've made a couple of passes around there, and I'm just going to take my knot or my needle, and I'm going to pass it between the pocket welt and that bar tack. I'm going to take my tail end and wrap it around my needle, pull it down tight, pinch it, pull my needle through, and that's going to knot that and snug it down. So there's the knot I just made. So I can do that again. Come the other direction with it. Pull that through. And there is our first repair. So here's the next spot that I want to address, is this sort of threadbare area. And it's not actually a hole there yet, but it's where my welt meets the front of my overalls. It's just a seam there, and then it opens up into the pocket bag. So I want to lift the pocket bag on the back side, just lift that away from this seam so that I can feel that seam. And then what I want to do is, and I could do this from the back and push out and up, but it's just easier to take my needle and push it through. And I want to come up just about a needle's width above this seam over here in where the good fabric is. I don't want to be just above where it's ripping. And I'm just a needle's width above that seam. So I'm gonna pull the thread until the tail just disappears behind there. And I'm gonna pinch that with my thumb and my forefinger between my fingers and the jean fabric. And now I'm just gonna do a little tack. I'm just gonna come straight down, needle's width below that seam, and just where I came out above it. Just want to do that a couple of times and put a strong tack there. And that's how we're looking. So my thread is coming out above the seam. I want to bring my needle over a needle's width over, and just right below that weak spot, a needle's width below that weak spot. Go in underneath the seam at that spot, come up just a needle width over and above the seam. And now I've got my tail end. I want to wrap it around the bottom of my needle, behind my needle, come up and around like that. And that is a buttonhole stitch. And that is going to create a little knot right here above this seam. And it's going to pull this fabric up and knot it and stabilize that threadbare area. So let's do that again. I'm just going to come over a needle's width below, a needle's width above, wrap my thread around behind, go ahead and pull my needle on through. And snug that knot up. And this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go down from here all the way down to this corner. Come over a needle width, down a needle width, in, come out a needle width up above, wrap my thread around my needle, and pull that knot tight. So I'm going to keep sewing, and then we'll look at this here in just a minute. And now from here, I can just run this, not even all the way through, just under the corner of this welt right here. Again, I use that reinforced area to push the needle. I'm going to get my tail end, wrap it a couple of times, bring it down tight. There we go. And we're just going to snug this knot on down. And then I'm going to take my needle and push it back behind the welt and all these stitches that I've done. Just kind of work it in there. You'll feel it. It'll want to kind of go back behind. Pull our tail back there. Then I'm going to trim that. And this is our repair down here. Another place that I like to use this buttonhole stitch is when I've got raw edges. So here you can see on my cuff placket on my shirt, it's worn, and I've got these raw edges here. You could use something like a blanket stitch here, but the thing that I like about the buttonhole stitch is that the knot is more interlocking. So you can just lay your thread down in there, bring the needle back here to where the fabric's good. Just hide my thread in there. And then just real close to this edge. I've got my tail here. I bring it down, around, and back up. Just travel clockwise with it. Keep it behind the needle. Just like that. That just puts an extra little loop around in that knot, whereas a blanket stitch is more like a hitch. It's just a little more secure. Just keep your stitches close to the edge, close together. Just bring it around clockwise behind the needle. Yeah, just like that. And now let's go back to looking at my overalls. The last spot that I'm going to get is this hole over here next to the fly. And I thought it was kind of a round hole, but looking at it now, I see it's more of a tear this way. So I'm just going to do another herringbone on this one. And I'm going to start on this end and work my way towards the fly, and then do a tack here at these seams to help pull all that together. So again, I'm going to come down into the good fabric, about a 1/4 inch down from where that raw edge is. And I'm going to come over about 1/8 of an inch, that raw edge over 1/8, down about 1/4. I'm just going to do my bar tack here. Come up, 1/8 inch over from where the raw edge is up here on this top. And I'm just going to pull that tail through, and I've got it pinched between my thumb and forefinger. And again, I could have, put my needle behind the fabric and poked up, but I just did it this way. This is this side of the fabric I'm facing. So I'm just going to hold on to that tail back there. Do my bar tack a couple of times. Now I want to pull this tight, but I don't want to pull it so tight that it's going to pinch and look bad. So if I'm getting that pinched look, it's too tight. So just kind of keep this taut, but not all pinched up. So now I'm going to come back through over here and up through the center of that stitch in line with the center of that split. And push that tail down here to make sure that I can do a bar tack and catch it. It's all locked into place. So now I'm going to come up. Go down through the center and up on the left. Come around, down on the right. Down on the right. Up through the center. I'm going to get that thread on the far side of my needle, so that when I do this, it creates my little knot, just like on that first one we did. Tug it down a little bit, and I'm just going to work this split closed. And now, when I get up here to the end, I'm going to do my stitch, and I'm going to pull it right in through where that seam is right there. It's kind of hard to see, probably on camera. But I'm going to go right there to that seam. Do my stitch over here, right where that seam would be. Just follow that line down. And there's my repair. Now I'm just going to bar tack. Now what I can do is just push this needle under this bar tack, between the bar tack and the fabric. Pull it tight. Wrap the thread around my needle to make my knot. Pinch it. Pull that knot tight. Snug it down. And I'm going to do that just once more. I'm going to go the other direction. And there you go. That's our repair. It's kind of hard to see with this frayed fabric right here, but that should hold. I hope you found this video useful. If so, give us a like and a subscribe. Comment down below if you'd like to see me tackle other mending projects, if you want to keep learning how to do this skill. And I'll see you next time on Exploring Victorian.